and gentlemen, as we move forward, it is now time to hear from a series of remarkable voices who will share their knowledge, experiences, and visions with us. This segment of guest addresses brings to the stage distinguished leaders, thinkers, and changemakers from all around the world. Each of them carries a unique perspective, from technology to wellness, from leadership to social impact. And their insights will guide us toward a deeper understanding of the future we are shaping together. Let us open our minds, take inspiration, and embrace the wisdom that these speakers are here to share. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to begin with Dr. Elaine Christine. She's a pioneer technologist, peace advocate, and #1 best-selling author. She's the founder of Aquaterra and the creator of Mac Muscle trademark for Apple Macintosh. With a PhD in computer science, she has also authored the acclaimed textbook Managing Risk, a work that continues to guide leaders and innovators alike. Recognized as the 2024 Global Game Changer, Dr. Christine hosts an inspiring Peacemakers podcast and leads her renowned six-step peace process around the globe. Her work is a beautiful example of how intellect, spirit, and innovation can come together to create real change. Please join me in extending a very warm welcome to our distinguished guest, a technologist, peace builder, and visionary, Dr. Elaine Christine.
Thank you, Monica. It is such a pleasure to be here, and I just want to say that I applaud all of you. I'm so excited, and whoever's daughter that was, she just showed us what Bente was saying about becoming like a child, because she did not stop clapping for her dad from the moment he got out of his chair to when he walked back. So let's give a round of applause for everybody in the celebration like a child. All of you, I'm so proud of all of you. It's just, all the hard work that goes into leadership and leading with the technology that we have. It's just incredible. So, I'll get my place. All right, so I've already been introduced, so we can skip that part. I'm Dr. Elaine Christine, and I did want to introduce Dr. Samara Akubal. Can you come up to the stage, please? She's going to help me give the presentation. I'm a member of her. She's the founder of the Global Accountability Partners, and so I am a member of her group. And she, because we collaborate within the group, she's from Dubai, but and I'm from Florida, so we have true global partnerships. But I have a World Peace Telesummit that I do annually, and so we had the 8th one this year, and so Dr. Samara was actually my co-host this year, and we're going to be inviting you at the end of the presentation to the next year, which will be our 9th Global Summit, so that's really exciting. Now, what I wanted to share with you today was when I would take you back with me to London when I was teaching my 3-day Managing Risk seminar. And a student asked me a question that I couldn't answer. So I went back to the hotel room, and my husband was there. He said, "How did it go today, honey?" And I said, "Well, not very well, because the students asked me a question I couldn't answer." He said, "Don't worry, we'll work on it together when we get home." And so that is how we discovered a new model, a framework. It extended Dr. Deming's model, the Plan, Do, Check, Act, if you all remember that from the quality controls days. It actually elevated the Japanese economy out of World War II. And what we did was, it was like we gave Deming's model a right brain. So whereas he was checking products that came out of the work, we were recognizing that with this question I couldn't answer, how does risk fit in the big picture? Then we were realizing we were going into the future, and we were trying to discover the possibilities, and we were trying to discover what was input into the plan that could change the plan. As in those days, it was the internet that was the enigma. Today it's AI. We don't always know where it's going, We just know that we have to follow it because it is the future. Now, the brain hemispheres that we recognized, our product development process was actually a formulation in our mind. And Deming's model gave you a past awareness. But what we were doing within our own corporation at Harris, we were discovering the risk. And by doing a risk assessment and interviewing the technical managers and the engineers, we were trying to work with the new software that was coming out at the time when people said, oh, you can't make money, the internet is free. Well, that was the paradigm change that everybody needed to make in order to move forward with the technology. So what we did after we figured out that we were searching for risk, it had to be in the future, because as you know, risk is the likelihood of loss, all right? So it's kind of like from the field of all possibilities, you have the upside and the downside. So the upside we call opportunity, and the downside we call risk. So that became the 6-discipline model. Our 6-discipline model could take in benchmarks from the standards that were happening, and it could also process the enigma, the riddles, the things that didn't make sense, and could sort them out into the risk and the opportunity. So that answered the question to a certain degree. The risk is an input into the planning process, and at some times you weren't able to just improve, you had to innovate. And so by improving, you could maybe build a faster train, right? Like a bullet train. But at some point, you have to throw out that and say, we're gonna fly. So we were ready to fly. Now, I wondered how to validate the model. As a scientist, I immediately thought, if this model can process a product, right, from start to finish, then how I would validate it would be with a scientific method. If it could run the thought of the scientific method, we would validate the model. And that's what came about, called the 6D scientific method. So yes, the model does run the scientific method because it's a whole brain. That's why the scientific method actually worked. And so from that point, we knew it was my stepdaughter in 2nd grade, and her science fair teacher was vice president of their elementary school, or vice principal of their elementary school, and he ran the science fair, so I had him review this 6D scientific method, and he agreed it was a requisite model, and it ran the scientific method. So at that point, I began teaching the government, corporate contractors for defense, and they were working on large-scale software development. So this is the Defense Logistics Agency behind me, and my husband is on the far left. I pulled him in to help me teach for a week. In that case, I taught the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco, corporate clients like the Corporate Counsel of Lockheed Martin, and they won a big case, right, with my risk strategy. So I got called and asked, I said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I know you can't tell me, exactly how it went down in court, but 1 to 10, how was your outcome? He said it was an 11. Wow. So then I also had a book signing at Barnes & Noble, so that's my proud father and his friend Kay. My mom was deceased at that time. So then I had a question that I asked. I said, if this model is a simple model of our mind, then can it run, what makes it holy? And so I went to Miami for a conference. Everybody wanted world peace, but nobody had a plan. I said, let me run that thought on this model of the mind. And it became known as the peace process. So I changed the generic process to a specific thought of peace and love, and now I started training global, like coaching one-on-one, and you should have seen the testimonials. People were freaking out. They were saying, you know, like, great insight, changed my life, huge breakthrough, another changed me forever, worked overnight. So I knew I really had something special. So the next thing I did was I created a book and a course and a community and a podcast, and I will be training starting next year. We call it Peace to Every Mind. That's kind of like my registered mark. And so there's so many resources that I have from my coaching and training. So really, what is peace of mind? Well, A Course in Miracles says, peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. It must begin with your own thoughts and then extend outward. It is from your peace of mind that a peaceful perception of the world arises. So the next thing I wanted to share was Napoleon Hill, because he wrote the book Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. And so Napoleon Hill, he's the one that said, you know, peace of mind is a mighty force in helping you make money. And so ultimately he said, peace of mind is wealth. And if you don't have peace of mind, you're not really wealthy. So then the next thing is to just express that I do world peace through inner peace. And then the last thing is we're going to pass around a QR code so you can get your free tickets or our World Peace Telesummit, the 9th one, and join Samira and I. We'll see you there. Thank you.